industry-based experience also. If you're beginner, you can like keep it only, it's not necessary. But if you have done any work, then you can add over here. And even if you have done any collaboration with your friends or professors, then you can add them over here. That experience. You can like give a title about what was your role about. You can like employment type was it like full-time, part-time, or freelancing, and the company name, location, and start date and end date, and you can give a short description also. And then next we have the basic thing, which is education. So I think every beginner can add at least these two things, your college and your department, and you can also add like PU college also or +1, +2. And then you have volunteering. Volunteering actually represents the position of responsibility. So the recruiters also want to know that you can take some responsibility, not only like work for 8 hours or 12 hours, you can also take other managerial responsible. So something like that you can add whatever responsibilities like POR you have done in your life, you can add. Not only necessarily that you have to add whatever you have done in engineering, even if you are in college life, school life, if you have any sort of volunteering experience, you can add them over here. And then you can add all the skills you have like public speaking, email marketing, graphic design, React Native, whatever you know, all the technologies, and not necessarily it should be software development, even other fields also you can add all the skills you want, you have, and you can showcase them. And endorsement is actually a good thing. Like endorsement actually stands for like a person agrees for what you have done so far. So if someone is like, one of my friend knows that okay, I am good at one stuff, then he can endorse me. Then in the sense he is supporting me for that. The recruiters can then know that okay, this person has some endorsement and he has high chance of working in that field. And then coming to next, we have publication. So I have like my 2 are published on Google Play, and that's what I have mentioned over here. It need not be only applications or websites that you have published somewhere. It can be even your research papers or articles that you have published in any other blog such as Medium or GFG articles. You can like mention those publications also. Like it is very helpful for the content creators especially. And then the most important thing, the projects. So you can mention your project also like the name, and if you're currently working on it, you can like mention that. And you can also add creators. If you have done a group project, you can add your group members also. And apart from that, you can add start date and end date also, like just a timeline to know. And then you can add the project URL. If you have hosted it somewhere, add that. Else, please add the GitHub URL. The recruiter or the viewer needs proof that you have actually done the project. And then you can add a description also, like you can just add the objective and motivation, and then like what and all tools you have used to build the project. You can like add as many projects you want, but make sure you add good projects. Don't add those small projects that you do when you are a beginner, like to-do list or expense tracker or any other project that you copy from the YouTuber or the course that you have taken. So make sure you add your own projects, and whenever someone asks, you should be ready to explain what you have done. And then you have honors and awards. So if you have got any awards, if you have participated in any of the competition, like our friendly club CSI was conducting technology so far, and even NCC will be conducting Unix and other games, and also in that competition, if you have won or participated, you can add that. If you have participated in hackathons, you can add that. And if you have done any open source contribution like GSOC, Hacktoberfest, you can add all those things. And even if you are like hardcore competitive programmer and have 5-star on HackerEarth or Codeforces courses, you can add all those awards under this section. And finally, we have interest, which is very much helpful in the in view of networking. So you can like there are some top voices on LinkedIn which are like elected by the LinkedIn itself for their good content that they post day to day. There is not only one person, like there are many LinkedIn top voices that you can find, and you can like connect with them, and you can like follow them to get like motivated, inspired daily, and get to know more about the IT field. Not only IT field, whatever field you are interested in, even if it's like digital marketing, email marketing, or whatever further you like. And then you have like companies, you can like follow the companies also. And what interesting is that whenever a company posts any jobs, then you will get an alert. And then you have groups also. So groups are very interesting. So since I am using React a join group. Suppose like in that anybody could like can post some code snippet and ask for help or tell a new thing that I might not be knowing. And even in the groups I can find like-minded people and do collaboration also. And then finally we have schools like whatever we have studied so far. So since I had JSS and my PU college, those two have been seen here. And apart from that, on top you can see there are 3 more things. So open tools. If you are like finding a new job, you can like let recruiters know you are finding a new job and ready to work. Which like most of us like I definitely won't recommend this to add this anywhere. Like the recruiter should be able to approach you, not that you should tell them like you are open to work. They should only come and approach you by seeing your profile. And then providing services is very helpful if you are a freelancer. Like you can, if you are a graphic designer, UX designer and doing any freelancing work, providing services will be very helpful. And lastly, we have hiring. So if you are a startup or an entrepreneur, and if you want to like hire some folks or like-minded people, you can like share the content and post that job. And then we also have add profile section. So here like code, whatever we saw so far, and we also have something known as featured. So if you were featured in any of the articles, like I said previously in some GeoG or Medium article, or if you were featured in some YouTube channel or anything, then you can add those featured. You can also like upload a resume or featured section which belongs to you. And if you have any certificates and license that you have done in the courses, you can add them. And courses you can add recommendations. So recommendation is the letter of recommendation that you have received. You might have received from your company, like whenever you have done internship, or from even our professors also are ready to mentor you to do some projects. And at the end of the project, they are also ready to give you a letter of recommendation, telling that yes, this person is like able to do some or the other work. And finally, we have any other additional details, like whatever we saw so far, and you can add your test scores which are like on 4 courses that you have. So basically this is not much about LinkedIn, and how to keep it optimized is like using the action calls and keywords. So in the headline as I showed, that will be very helpful for people to find you and the recruiter to approach you by seeing your headline and your skills. So add whatever skill you have, whatever projects you have done. And through this, people will be like approaching you for collaboration, or even if anybody is hiring for their company, even they will be ready to hire you. So this was more all about it. So now, what do you think that the mistakes that usually people do on their LinkedIn profile?
Not having a photo.
Not having a profile photo. Yes.
Number one mistake. Like full photo they are like not passport. There should be a professional photo.
It should be a professional photo. Any other mistakes common mistakes that you can find it out on LinkedIn profile?
Telling all of their
skills and still not adding all of the skills. Headlines, missing headlines. So whatever like is missing from this is actually a mistake. Like you are not telling about yourself is actually a mistake. So you should tell about yourself, and you need not be shy. And as teacher said, that the biggest mistake on people do on the LinkedIn is like not uploading that profile pic. That is very much important on the LinkedIn. As I showed earlier, the first thing that the recruiter or someone sees is your profile photo. So you need not be shy. You can like upload whatever photo you have. So next you have let me give my own example, like how an impressive profile helped me in getting a hiring call. So this was a few years back that I got from the recruiters the call like that they are recruiting for so much was about the JavaScript technologies. And then another was about the MERN stack, and this was from the Accenture. And this was about the blockchain. So how did they get to know? Because they had seen it in my profile, they see this all the relevant projects that I had added, and that's how they approached me. And then I would like to pass on to Jayesh for the next section.
Hello.
Okay, does anybody have doubts?
Yeah, about the profile, like, okay, any.
Hello.
Okay, can anybody summarize what they have learned till now? Does anybody want to?
Whoever summarizes gets two.
Okay. Can you say like whatever you've learned? What's your name? Afnan.
AFNA.
Yeah.
So we started off looking at LinkedIn from an overall view. We then, Abhilash nicely discussed about how your profile looks like to people outside and how we can optimize it so that we can get amazing opportunities. So we also talked about the different aspects of the profile, like having a profile photo, a banner, a headline, which are some of the most important parts, and then including your experience and your education along with the projects, and linking them so that any future employers or people who want to work with you can reach you out.
Can you have a huge round of
One more important thing is like whenever you are adding description, no, whether for your experience or projects or volunteering, use some action words like facilitated, worked on, collaborated, something like that. Don't start with that I did this, I did that and all. So that action words will be like very catchy to the recruiters.
Yeah.
Hi, am I audible?
Yeah.
So moving on to the next topic is, what do you do after creating a profile on LinkedIn? Anyone? What do you do? Cooperate for Facebook. What do you do?
Professional like this side.
Yeah, anyone? 1 second. Yeah,
Who's in connections?
Make connections.
good point. Makes connections. Next, somebody said about posting. Post what?
Post something related to what we are doing professionally.
Okay, nice. Anyone else?
Keeping updated means keeping updated our day to day on the projects and on the skills that
Okay, so basically, as Abhilash mentioned, it's your virtual resume. Even your CV has to be updated. So the better you update your LinkedIn profile, the more recruiters visit your profile too. So coming to the next part is, what do you do after creating a profile, right? So you make connections, you write a post about something that you've been working on, but there are few steps that you have to follow while doing any of these particular activities. Next slide. So coming to the first part is like, what is feed on LinkedIn? So here we are going to talk about how can you spend your time on LinkedIn for your benefit. So basically there's something called as digital well-being, right? So how do you spend time on LinkedIn so that it benefits you for your professional career or whatsoever for that matter? And what's the correct strategy to engage with a person's post? So I'm going to explain like if Abhilash posts something, how I have to engage on him. And third is, how does engaging helps overall in your profile? So we'll move on to the next. So understanding the LinkedIn feed for people who don't know LinkedIn, this is the desktop version of LinkedIn. So this is how your feed will look like. Your headline will come there and your name, the impressions you get, the pages you're managing. This is the feed which comes like according to recent posts that people have made. And there's LinkedIn news on other sides, and you can write a post, create an event or video here, and their jobs, network messaging, notifications. This is the basic workflow of how LinkedIn works. You will be playing around all this to get clients for your freelancing journey, or if you want to work under someone for internship. This is all you will be using. Next slide. Yeah. So spending time on LinkedIn for your benefit can be done by 3 following steps. It's like by following hashtags, then following and interacting with creators on LinkedIn, and following niche related personalities. So I want to ask, like, which domain are you people exploring, or you want to learn more about? Anyone? IT. Which particular domain is that? Like
Software development.
software development, app development. Okay. So I'll show how you can basically leverage this niche that you want to develop your skill on using LinkedIn. So firstly, as I said, you follow hashtags, right? So any particular hashtag for that matter. Here's the example of hashtag programming. So you could see like 1 hour ago, somebody posted about last minute revision notes for object-oriented programming language. So it's groups-based concept, and people are posting a lot of more content on LinkedIn which you can leverage and use it for your benefit. So following hashtags works. So if you want to learn about app development, you go app development, click on follow, and you get notified for everything across the world, people posting about app development, be it recruiting or be it any insightful post about it. So this is the first step that you do, and then you can spend time across the hashtags you want to develop your skills on. Okay, I just showed that. So if you see, hashtag app development has around 6,000 followers, but if you see that the recent post is around like 6 hours back, so you get to know different things that people are going to do about app development once you follow a particular hashtag. So it could be anything for that matter, machine learning, or if you just want to know about communication skills, you can do that as well. If you want to know about public speaking, you can do that as well. So people on LinkedIn post content based on various different needs they have personal experience into. So yeah, okay. Which hashtags would you follow? Anyone? Like, thinking that you have to spend time on LinkedIn, so which particular hashtags you think would help you guys?
It's basically like Twitter but with skills instead. Can you tell like what hashtags would you choose? Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, there will be particular hashtags for Python, C++ programming. You could also follow hashtag called project ideas, software project ideas for that matter. So you get different ideas across the world that people are working on any software on LinkedIn. So coming to the next point, that was like following creators on LinkedIn. So this is just another example. So it's Raj Shamani, if people know. He has done various things. He's a public speaker as well. So you can see how his headline is written: hiring for new startup, best-selling authors, and the best-selling author happened just a week back. So you can see how fast it's been updated. That's how quick you have to be on LinkedIn so that people know what you're up to at present time. And then you could see he talks about hashtag business, creator economy, entrepreneurship, personal branding, and influencer marketing. So if you follow any of these particular hashtags, there are chances of his feed or his post getting recommended to you guys, and then you can spend quality time analyzing, reading whatever the person posts about. Do you want to check out any other creator, let's say for example? How many of you all know Ankur Warikoo? So his LinkedIn posts are completely different than what he posts on Instagram for that matter. So you could just check out his profile as well and give him a follow button if you are interested to what kind of content Ankur Warikoo posts about. So again here, talks about ideas, money, startups, self-awareness and personal growth. So any particular creators that are into your niche or you think can help you, basically following them will help them.
And while visiting someone's profile, simply don't visit them to stalk them, because it will actually notify them who is visiting your profile. So with someone who has LinkedIn premium access, you might not know who is visiting, but if you are like simply visiting to stalk them, like just to see their profile picture or background, please don't do that on LinkedIn. Since it is a professional network, keep it professional.
Coming to the next point, you follow creators and they post about various things. So a random creator would post about 21 books or 23 books you have to read in 2023. It's not necessary you read all 23 books because that particular person has posted it. You have to look after your mental space as well and mental capability too. So coming to that point, it's just for a reference that you're referring to some person out there who's putting out content which will be useful for you in your life. So coming to next person that next point that you can do to spend time on LinkedIn is follow people based on your niche. So if you are looking for someone who is a software developer, follow few creators who are on LinkedIn and are software developers already. So here's an example of Kunal Pushpa who are know him. Yeah, so he's basically a student. I think a graduate now. Yeah, he's a graduate now. But then when we were in undergraduate first years, he was the one who was using a lot of YouTube channels and he was providing free content on YouTube and even on LinkedIn for that matter. So basically, contributing on open source and being a creator on LinkedIn, YouTube, etc., got him the role as CEO. So that's how your social presence is mattering these days. So whatever you do, you can follow creators across this particular category based on your niche. So if you want to follow a few graphic designers, you can do that as well to know what they are doing. And then you can follow, or if it's related to app development, just search people because they would have mentioned in their headline that they are a full stack developer or they are an app developer. So follow them so that you don't get notified. But before following, check they are regular in posting content. And the content that they post about aligns with you and what you want to gain across the LinkedIn platform. Just don't follow randomly because your feed will be then messed up and then you won't be using it for your benefit and the time you spend won't be useful. Any doubts? Any doubts? So what are the 3 things you need to do to spend your time on LinkedIn for your benefit? So next point is engaging with others on LinkedIn. So be it the creators you have followed or niche-based personalities that you have followed or people you have connected over on LinkedIn. So the networking aspect will be explained later. But then how to engage with them once you have connected with them. So there are again 2 things that matters how you engage with the person's post. The first one is through reactions. So how many of you all know like button in Instagram? It's just a single heart love button, right? Like love it icon. But LinkedIn has various 7 of them. So these are categorized into the kind of content the person has posted about. So this one is like, this one is celebrate, the third one is to support, the fourth one is funny, fifth one is again like love, the last second is insightful, and the last one is curious. So whatever content you read about, you react to them accordingly. Just giving a thumbs up is all good and well, but if you give insightful, it's more impactful. Seeing that the person knows that you have gone through the whole article or whole post about it. That's why you find it insightful. So when it's something is curious, you react with curious. Just don't give a thumbs up. That basically doesn't make any sense to the person who has posted content as well. So if you see this is a random post of like community managers at work. So what does the community manager do? They build community, right? So they make sure that the other person can't refuse themselves to join the community. So that's what it is, and then it was very recent post, but it's very funny, so you can react with fun. The second part, like once you can do it through reactions. Those are 7 of them. So it depends on what quality of content you are getting from the post that you are reading about. But the next one is engaging with others on LinkedIn is through comments. So say for example, I post about I got placed in one so-and-so company from JSS College. How would you comment on my LinkedIn profile? Okay. I'll talk about how you have to post about your achievements as well. But congratulations is something that a lot of us do on LinkedIn, right? Like congratulations or keep up the hard work. But then there are few things that you have to make sure. When you're commenting, it's just not 1 word or 2 words or a one-liner that you have to comment about. So this was one comment on a person who said that balancing of creating content and outreaching person is completely different thing. So there was a person who commented that in the 3 months of journey, she realized it about the same too. So that's what basically will give you a lot of interaction because people know now that even you are into creating content or even you are into that particular field. So giving a proper comments gets you a lot of engagement as well. So the person who posted about this would also connect to you just to ask about how is your journey being, creating content or like outreaching people on LinkedIn. So just to make sure you have to be very open when you are on LinkedIn and very true to yourself. You can't lie any shit. That's all for this part. So basically, how does engaging helps? So people who don't know, if I react to Abhila's post, my followers get to know that I've reacted to Abhila's post on LinkedIn. So that's how organic the growth is on LinkedIn. So basically, if I comment on somebody else's post about anything for that matter, every other person who follows me or is connected with me get to know about it. So that's how it helps to get your reach more. And when you get your reach more, it's very high chances of recruiters coming across your profile. So it's like you need to comment well and react well. That is the basic thing that you have to do when you're engaging. You just can't react with emojis. Like don't comment down with emojis. That's the worst thing you can do on LinkedIn. It's fine. And how do you comment? It should be proper English. You can't type bio you as you, and you can't type bith with as bid. That works on WhatsApp but not on LinkedIn. And then there are few things like comments on your post to spark discussion within your community. Say for example, Darsha comments on my post, so I have to make sure I reply something back to it. I just can't leave it because the person has commented. You have to build the communication through virtual media, and that's how, again, reach is all that matters on LinkedIn. The one thing was how you spend time on LinkedIn. So it's like other people have posted and you read about it. How many of you all want to post your journey or your experiences? Yeah, that's a pretty good number.
What
So
about that side? You guys don't want to like.
you don't want to post anything about yourself, your journey on LinkedIn.
It's like Instagram user with 0 posts and no stories.
And no profile picture. So coming to the next part is what do you post on LinkedIn? So basically, how will like you have interacted with the feed and everything, but people should know what kind of personality you behold, right? Like how are you as a person? What do you do for a living, or what do you do on a day-to-day basis? So that's how you engage with posts. So we are gonna answer 4 of the most asked questions. If you guys have any other questions related to posts, you could ask them also. Okay. The 4th thing says what to post on your personal feed, like what should I post about on a regular basis or at least once in a month. The second thing is how to post about your achievements. So as I said to you, I got placed in so and so company from Jesus College, blah blah blah. Doesn't help. It doesn't give any sense to other person out there. It's just like you're boasting you got a placement for the person who didn't get a placement too. Then does posting certificates on your profile boost your profile? That is one thing. And then can you do shit posting? So we'll answer just 4 questions one by one. So what to post on your personal feed? So this is my example itself that I've given. So what do you post on your personal feed? We'll read through this later, but it should be niche specific content. It can be educational, it can be emotional, it can be trending, it can be infotainment, it can be informative, it can be self-learning content. To explain everything, what's that? Niche specific content. Say if you put headline as you're a full stack developer, make sure you put content around full stack development so that people interact with you because they know you are a full stack developer. That's the niche specific content you can post about. So one example could be 5 tools I use as a full stack developer. That could help you boost your developer journey as well. The second thing is educational. So as I said, niche specific content is one thing. So educational, it comes like 5 tools you use is the educational content for a person who doesn't know the 5 tools. Then it's emotional. This is something called the soft corner of LinkedIn. Like people get very emo at times on LinkedIn, and you get a good reach. Not to blunt about it, but yeah, it happens. So you can post emotional content too. And something that's trending. Say Elon Musk buys Twitter and is putting $8 fine. So how did you react? Whatsoever for that matter on LinkedIn. Then it can be infotainment which has some information and entertainment all together, or it can be just a simple informative thing. And it can be a self-learning content that basically means what you have learned over the journey. Whatever you have worked on, say for example an ML project. So what all qualities did you learn or what all skills you could learn, you could write about that and something that you didn't know. So people will come across your profile and that would basically boost your engagement as well. The example of mine is I've been doing freelancing from past 3 years. So this is something I posted about 5 learnings from my freelancing journey. It's half the post because of the screenshot. So it's again like time management, plan your days, learn to say no, your words speaks more, and last one was one kind is equal to explain. So this was something for me to build a freelancers community with myself. So for this post, I got around 20 freelancers connecting me over LinkedIn. This was just a single post. So you could plan your content that you want to post about, and people will connect with you because you're being regular or you're providing some kind of information on LinkedIn. So how do you post about your achievements? So as I said, say for example, you would see a lot of people from our college posting about that they were placed into so-and-so company and thanking to the placement secretary and the college for the support. But then there are few styles you have to post your achievements about, because it shouldn't feel depressing for the other person who is reading too. So yeah. Oh, you guys will be getting refreshments as well, so have refreshment and listen to the topic. Okay, so this is again one of my examples. Everyone. So this is the most important thing. You can't do shit posting here. So this can't be something random shit you can talk about. Like just for example, you can't just say I'm studying in JSSQ college. Congratulations, but then your followers don't get any feedback. Like they won't know why you're congratulating so and so person. I'll answer your question. So we'll take a break like for 2 minutes. But then Afnan has a question. Like I said, you just don't wish congratulations to the person on LinkedIn, right? But you see, most of the people, if they post about getting a job, they show their previous journey, like how difficult it was for them to get a job on that particular company, or how much months of duration they have spent on themselves. So this is something you can post about like this. The whole thing looks very inspiring to me. I look forward to take these few steps you have mentioned and look forward to carry this into my own journey as well. So wishing congratulations will give a smile on the person who has posted it, but that doesn't build a good connection on LinkedIn. So to answer that question, if I would have been posting about me getting a job, I would have talked about how over the 4 years college has changed me as a person and how I landed a job. So that was something people I know would basically say they have seen the journey and they'll congratulate me for that. So that's how you have to be open about commenting anything on any person's post. the feed was the one topic, like what you can do on LinkedIn. The second is about posting. So we looked after how do you post on your personal feed. So as I said, it can be educational, it can be emotional, it can be a niche specific content, infotainment, entertainment, anything for that matter. So how do you post about your achievements is something that everyone has to learn. Because you just can't post the 3-liners of what you have achieved on that particular day for that matter. So there are 4 points that build across like how to post about your achievements. First is be authoritative about whatever you're posting. You have achieved it, you have to show that confidence in your content. And then you have to build a trust and value. So by trust I mean you can't fake any achievements because other people might know that you have not done that. And the value thing is how valuable your achievement is to others. If there is some value, then it's very well worthy to post about it. And then you have, it builds a community across because people know like what kind of person you were to achieve this particular achievement. And then the last point is storytelling is the key. So whenever you are doing your achievements post, there will be a story to tell about, and that's how you post about it. So I'll read to this example so that you guys get to know how you should basically post about it. Okay, if anyone wants to read this.
Let me pass you the mic and read the story.
Anyone, this is simple English. I won't use any fancy words and
Someone to that side. But a Kunal, somebody. Do you want to get the story?
You want to read it? No? Okay, fine. Does anyone wants to read? You want to read? Yeah. No. Yes. What's your name? But you like, just to know, like this post was about I was a facilitator for Explorable workshop conducted by Google Developers Student Clubs again. Explorable is again a 2 days workshop that GBSE conducts. It's basically exploring machine learning. And I was a facilitator, that means I was guiding students and explaining concepts to them. So how did I post about this on my LinkedIn? Ramchandra will help read along.
As a school kid, the only compliment I received. As a school kid, the only compliment I received was silent, shy, and nervous. In my 8th grade, I participated in various schools, singing, presenting my idea, attending group tips, and there is more to this. Throughout the journey of involving myself in various scenarios, I realized that I decided a fear for so many things. The fear of speaking. To be honest with you all, I haven't succeeded yet, but I am proud of the exponential growth in me. With this scope of discovering myself, I agreed to be one of the facilitators of Explore ML workshop, organized by Google Development Student Club, JSSU. Proudly, this has been my leasing experience of teaching to a particular group of participants. Also, with all the guidance I received from the team at JSSU, I performed and presented much better. I still face difficulty talking with people on the first group, but as I said, I have a long way to go.
Thank you, Rahul.
So you went through the journey. So I just said posted about I was a facilitator. So why being a facilitator was something more important to me was displayed here. So that's basically what you do on LinkedIn. That's how you post your achievements. And if you see the hashtags, so that's basically the hashtags I use so that it gets a better reach. So I was talking about public speaking. It was an experiential post. It was again about teaching, explore and machine learning. Then Google Developer Student Clubs have their own hashtag. The growth journey, student live workshop. So these particular hashtags will place, as you see, people follow hashtags. So if your post gets into their feed, that's something people will connect to you over, and again helping you to connect and engage with a lot more people. Next.
You can add this over to the volunteering itself.
What's it about?
It's also volunteer, right?
You can add it to your volunteer section as well. But then when you add it to your when you add it to your volunteer section, your followers don't get notified. It's just as a resume. So when you post about this, that's when your connection gets to know that you've done something. Does posting certificates boost your profile? How many of you all have done any courses till now? Related to CS or any other skill that you wanted to explore in your life? Raise your hands first. Have you posted about it on LinkedIn that you have got this skill from that particular course? Anyone? You did. Did you post the certificate?
Yeah.
Only certificate or something else?
Yeah, certificate is
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Good. So you post about certificates as you said, but you have to add something in your description that I'm gonna talk about. So I would say, so and so person taught me web development and I completed the course successfully and I posted about it. But that's not what really matters to recruiters' profile or anyone visiting your profile. A plain certificate is something even I can generate on Canva or graphic design myself. Okay. So you have to basically add these points of what these are like 8 points. But then the major thing is, why did you do this particular course? Why did you do that course?
to learn about it.
Okay. So you have to mention that you took, say for example, web development to explore your horizon in web development and start your developing journey. Then what were your major takeaways from the course? What all things you learned, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, everything for that matter. What is so different after completing that course? You didn't have web development knowledge or you didn't know how basically a web page was created, and now you know how a web page is created and how it's hosted on a particular domain too. Why should somebody take it? If you are interested to learn about web development, you can take this course. And then you can tag your instructors if they are there on the LinkedIn. Again, use relevant hashtags. So apart from all this, you post this certificate. What more matters is what you have done after getting the course completed. So that's where you put about your projects or just tell about some projects you were working on and how successfully it ended about. So that's one post that you can do after you have completed your particular course. So people or recruiters know that this person's certificate is authentical because you have completed that particular course and you have no projects in your hand too. So you have that hands-on experience too. That's what recruiters look after. So make sure you do that, and then the last 2 points are you update the skills you have gained over in the skills section as Abhilash explained. That's more important. If your skills is blunt at 0, nobody gonna approach you. And then update your courses section that you have completed a specific course. There are courses and certifications in LinkedIn, so you can add if that particular course is available on LinkedIn.
Last question. Who want to complete a course here? Any sort of course?
Give me any platform.
We had a laser hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you want to go ahead and answer these questions on why you do this course and what you learned.
Taking your course as an example. Yeah.
What about the stage? Introduce yourself.
My name is Rohit Raj, first year CSE, computer science. So I took Google Data Analytics course. So why did I take this course? I wanted to learn about data analytics. So how to collect data and how to maintain data. So they helped me by doing data analytics. They also thought about what are the databases which you can use for controlling maintaining the data. So they thought about databases like Tableau and then R programming. So and then and all those stuffs. And then what are things actually they made it into 7 points. Ask and then ask yourself what are the data, and then then frame the ideas, then share the ideas with other people, and then and then act it out, apply and then post the ideas. So based on that the course was that. And then why should somebody take it? That is the most trending. Data analytics is the most trending the course or the field which everyone is working on. So it's really important for us to take that. And then, thank you.
So I've been telling it from the start, storytelling is the key. You post anything on LinkedIn, you tell a story and your post stands out. So as he said, data analytics is trending and that's why you wanted to learn about it. That's how you can start the post about it. Anything fact related to data that inspired you, and then you started to learn about data analytics, what all are the things you learned about, and then why should somebody take it, or what are your takeaways out of it. But the major thing is you do projects out of it and that you can post on LinkedIn. The last one, can you do shit posting on LinkedIn? Anyone?
No.
Why no?
This is not better.
But then you can do shit posting on LinkedIn. Yes, if it's done under certain limitations. So, for example, if you go around across any creators or niche-based profile that you follow, they would have a shit posting about one other thing in 1 week, because their followers would be tired learning every day a new thing that they are gonna talk about. So shit posting works. It gives you good reach if people share across or whatsoever for that matter. This example of shit post is just yesterday's, I guess. So why does mine suck? So the headline itself is very double meaning. So how about the rest of you? My engagement has been atrocious since last week. My guess is this will continue till the first week of January. So this is a shit posting because he just rant about his engagement going down, and the reason is mentioned here when the holidays arrive. So it's a Christmas of vacations and people are enjoying their vacations and beaches, everything for that matter. So nobody's using LinkedIn. That's why the engagement is down. So it's completely fine, but if you do it under certain limits, then again the limit does exist to do shit posting on LinkedIn. That's all from my end. Thank you.
Just to add on to Jayesh's point, even on the post, you can also take up some motivation like 100 days of coding or 30 days of coding, something like that. Then you can daily, day one, day two, you can start uploading, and it will be motivating to others also and for you also. Like you'll add it for 5 days and on 6th day you can't be like I won't add today. Then again you have to post something and then add whatever you have coded and whatever you have learned from that day. So you can do that also.
Yeah. If you guys want to check that, there are many UI UX challenges people do on LinkedIn. So that basically has a good engagement because they post about which one do you think is better. Like it if this one is better, and if it's insightful, this one is better. We'll show you an example of that.
So one more thing that I forgot in the profile section was editing your profile URL. So when you create a new account, it will be like your full name and some hyphen alphanumeric. So it's necessary to change that and keep a short name that is actually related to your full name. Please don't keep any cringy Instagram IDs like Walks in Moonlight, My Girl Wants Me That, or anything like that. Dance Little Princess or something like that. Don't add. It should be related to your name and sweet and short. Coming to the next part, networking. So networking is basically like through networking you can expand your social connections, develop them, and also exchange for knowledge exchange and inspiration, support the goals that you want to achieve, and you can grow your connections for your personal career development. So here we'll be answering 3 questions: why on LinkedIn you need to network, and how can you find the potential contacts, and lastly, how can LinkedIn help you in finding contacts? So why networking on LinkedIn? First thing, build your personal brand or company brand. So suppose you are providing some services like freelancing. So you can like mention them on your profile and you can post about it daily on the LinkedIn feed and help yourself grow, or even with a company brand. So most of the time you'll be searching for the company on Google, right? So instead of that, if you're a startup or a small company and you have it on your LinkedIn with an optimized profile, then people can reach out to you very easily rather than from Google search. And then find a job, which will be explained shortly. And more about jobs on LinkedIn, like there are tremendous jobs. Even through recession, you'll be finding one or the other job, especially if you are into IT field. Follow industry leaders. You can also like follow industry leaders like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Satya Nadella, and you can learn from them. They will be also like daily posting some inspiration content, and then learn from interesting content. So just like Jayesh showed one of the example of his own post. So that was like very interesting to learn, right, about freelancing. So people will be posting about even every other domain like app development, machine learning, UI UX and whatnot. There are like tremendous feeds that you can follow on LinkedIn, like hashtags and all, and learn daily and engage yourself on LinkedIn, and then create collaborations. So you can like find like-minded people. How the LinkedIn groups that I showed in the previous section and in the profile. So there, if you are interested in like React Native, then you will find like many people following the same group. Then you can like collaborate with them and then create a project. And you are like people may also like be ready to collaborate with you and then get expertise. So there will be like few people ready to mentor on LinkedIn, also like one-on-one mentorship. So you can like get expertise, and even LinkedIn offers you some of the courses like called as LinkedIn courses. There also like you can like complete that course and that badge will be added automatically to your LinkedIn profile. But the important of course, as Jay said, is like what you do after the course, which is like doing the projects, and then referrals. So referrals again will be coming back to that in few minutes. Next is like some ways how we can like find potential contacts for networking. First, we can like contact the people you know, like your friends, seniors, juniors, families also. Here you need not block your relatives or family members. It's not Instagram. Like even they will be helpful to find you a job. And then LinkedIn's people you may know section. This is very helpful. Like suppose like you are in the same group, then LinkedIn will suggest you that you might know this person. Or if two unknown people are from mentioned that they are from the same college, then they are so and so person is from the same college, so you might know them. And the very generic way is the using the search box, which I'll show in few minutes. And being active on the LinkedIn groups, like being engaged on LinkedIn and others content, this will be helpful to find new contacts. And then even explore LinkedIn events. LinkedIn events is like very useful if you want to learn something virtually. All the LinkedIn events will be virtual. You can like find them, and then you can like find like-minded people, and you can also collaborate with them. You can connect with them. You can learn from them, exchange knowledge and whatnot. And last thing is that tips to make LinkedIn work for you. So obviously, if you want to make a friend with someone, you like start a conversation, right? So on LinkedIn we call it as a cold message. So when you are connecting with a stranger, then they have to know why you are connecting, right? So instead of just clicking the connect button, you can also send a cold message to them. So you can like tell like, hey, we seem to be from the same domain, that is like blockchain or web development. Would like to connect for more collaboration, something like that. You can start the conversation. And then share your knowledge activity, as explained in the previous section about your day-to-day life. You can like keep your connections engaged. And as Jayesh said that if I like his comment, if I like his post, then all my connections will get to know that Jayesh has posted something, and even like all my connections like can start liking them, and their connections like a tree will like grow on, and post impression will be high. And then supporting others. So whenever like someone is low, or like whatever they have posted, if someone has gone through a recession, or if someone has got placed, like commenting them, giving them a small impression or appreciation through comments, that will be very helpful. And asking for help, people would be more than happy to help on LinkedIn, because everyone believes that what goes around that comes around. I'll show some examples like how to find contacts on LinkedIn. So suppose you want to find someone who is like working in Microsoft and you want them to connect with you. So what you can do is like just type Microsoft, the company name, and for what position you are looking after. So suppose like SDE2, then you will get the list of all the people who are working at Microsoft or SDE2. And how did LinkedIn get to know that so and so person is SDE2 at Microsoft? Because of the headline, because of the experience section, whatever they had added, like what position they were. So this is how LinkedIn will be able to rank you up in the search engine. And since like I am already connected with all the Microsoft SD from my college, it is not showing. But if there was any of my senior who is not connected and working at Microsoft as an SD2, their ranking will be high because like we are in the same groups. So you can find your seniors like that also. And if you want like anybody to know from the same college, then you can just type up college and you will find all the people who are in our college. So you can see like student at JSS, and you can find your seniors, juniors, classmates, everybody. The other way is like you can just go to my network. So here you can see like as I see him, he's like a student at JSS Science and
I think
Technology.
it's a monster. It's a big
Okay.
Can I get accepted?
So, and this one, the code message example, as I said, so I don't know what language that came from. Please later translate it for me. But what I can see is that he's a tech recruiter, so because of the headline, and he is like wanting to recruit for the software engineer in JavaScript Solidity blockchain. So this is an example of code message. Like why does he wants to connect with me? So you can code message the reason also. So and even like if you want to connect with someone, so first thing like just now I accepted Ram because connection, so it is showing like you connections that you may know from him. And then you can like since I follow this content creator Nishant Chahar, there are like many other similar content creators that the LinkedIn would like me to know. And then since I am from JSS TV, it is like showing all the connections who are from my college. And then top emerging creators, since I follow a lot of creators, content creators, it is like showing all the emerging creators and the events. And since most of my skills and experience section were related to the IT field and IT consultant companies, it is showing like related people who are working in IT field. So this is like LinkedIn's people you may know section, and there are like other companies that I might be interested in. So suppose if I want to connect with some random person, say like connect, then you will directly go to pending. In the sense like you can that connection request go directly to them. You can like withdraw it even if you want. And this was like more about the connections and networking. Like why would you like to connect on LinkedIn? So I hope like everyone, like if you are connecting with some friends and all, that's fine. Like they will get to know, okay, he's a friend and he's like willing to connect. But if you are connecting with some stranger or some senior who doesn't know you, then it's necessary to code message them like why you would like to connect. And then the successful networkers that I know are the ones who receive tons of referrals. Referrals will be coming back again. And then again handing over back to Jayesh. And any doubts so far about the networking, how to find contacts, and why networking is important on LinkedIn?
Is it going to send the request to the members whom we don't know? Like I search for company name, send the request to everyone. Like they can be in future use. Is it
Like too much? Again, too much is too bad. Only keep it limited. Unlike Instagram, like you don't want to increase your connections, so keep it limited and don't send everyone like okay, everyone is from JSS, connection, connect, and everyone is from IT industrial, connect. So like if you are into like whatever specific, suppose like you are interested in Microsoft company and maybe in future you will be joining Microsoft, means like from now you can start the connections like that.
Suppose I have to send a message, you said the
code message.
Yeah.
So actually on mobile version and even on the desktop version, whenever you click on the connect model will pop up. Here it didn't pop up maybe like because of the desktop version. But on mobile or in the other screens, you will get that pop-up box where you can actually code message them and send connect before like actually sending them the connect request.
As an example, suppose I want to send you.
Yeah, I showed some recruiter code message. It was in some other language. I show one of mine. So this was one of the example. He code messaged me saying that we are in the same domain, blockchain revolution, and how about we connect. This was the code message that he had sent. So this one is an example. So when I was explaining profile section, everyone went through that, right? So can someone give me an example of code messaging me? Why would you like to connect with me? Anyone from this side?
See, now we are in the first year, and if someone has more concern about regarding their internship or the placement, they may have, from the first year only, they may have starting the building their connections to all the seniors, or if they have a goal like I want to go to this company only, I want to intern at this company only. For that purpose, some may send the request to the seniors, or they may find the seniors who are working at that company from college. Then it would be easy to connect with them. Means sending requests to some other people who are working at that company and who are not from our college. It is difficult to send them. Then sending to our seniors who are working at that company and from our college only. Then they may help us more.
More like in finding jobs and giving returns. Your name?
Rachel.
So before we move on to the next topic, I think we have a small activity for whatever you guys learned till now. I hope you have learned something till now. So whatever we talked about, how do you post, how do you connect, and everything for that matter, over to you, Shiv.
So we have a small activity right now. I just want to ask, how many of you do not have LinkedIn profiles? Okay, so whoever does not have LinkedIn profile, I want you to create it really fast, okay, because you're going to need this for the next activity. So the activity is, what have you learned to know? You learned about posting, you learned about cold messaging, you learned about how you should organize your profile and everything. So once your basic profile is set up, okay, I need you to post something regarding this event. Okay, you can be a snapshot of this. Okay, I want you guys to post whatever you learned till now, tagging GDSC, JSS, STU, and all the tags will be written on the board here. I want you to know how to post in the real world. And one advantage with this is when you post about this, okay, whatever GDSC's connections are, okay, they'll be able to see your post because you're tagging GDSC. That is the whole thing about finding new connections. Okay, and once you guys post on this, you'll obviously engage with it, so you can gain more connections right now. So please, everybody, do take out your LinkedIn thing, take out a snapshot of all this, and post and tag us, please.
So before Darsha writes all the necessary hashtags, can someone tell what are the relevant hashtags for this event? We saw JS hashtags, which was for relevant to Explore ML. Can anyone give examples of hashtags that are relevant to this event?
Okay, that's a good hashtag. Learn about LinkedIn. You guys can use that.
Hashtag networking.
Yeah, hashtag networking.
And Google developers.
Yes.
Because you are
Yeah, because they're actually at the event, so hashtag GDSC is also a good hashtag.
And learn about LinkedIn, professional network, career development.
No, yeah. So far we have.
There are like 2 more important hashtags that you'll be seeing coming. More than 2, like 2 will be the important, and you can like get to know more hashtags also. Like since there are like 2 sections left out. And any other hashtags that someone can suggest from this side especially.
Yeah, this side, please give me some hashtags.
Hashtag learning.
Okay, that's a good one. Hashtag learning. One by one. somebody else is.
Last year.
Last year was a yes.
You-
You okay? Yes, good. Round of applause.
Do you remember the style of posting I mentioned before? So a small story also would help. Whatever you could write in 5 minutes. Yeah, so you have to tag Google Developer Student Clubs JSS STU. Yeah.
But take a picture of that so that you can post that onto your LinkedIn app. Yeah.
Also, you can use GDSC Elevate episode 3. So that's the whole event name about. So if you guys don't know, Elevate is sessions that we conduct to help you learn skills that are non-technical but are very important for your technical journey or overall as well. So we have done about Elevate sessions on how do you build your resume, what's important, competitive programming or projects. So this is our third session and this is the first session for this new year and batch. So it's about LinkedIn.
Make sure you tag this. Make sure you tag this on blog because without that the engagement won't happen.
She was.
So I'll just read out the account name for people who can't see in the back. It's Google Developer Student Clubs JSS STU. When you search it on a bar, you're trying to tag, there'll be a lot of GDSs coming, but make sure you tag the JSS STU. You can tag us also for engagement. We'll connect with you for sure. been posting? Anybody? Okay, keep posting. Keep posting. We'll give you 5 minutes. GDSC will interact with your posts after you get your posting. After the event, we'll put up some comments so that the guys get to read.
How many people are posted?
Are you guys done? Anybody? Anybody? Even one, two. Okay, there's one guy who's done.
Right, so you guys continue. Jayesh can move forward with the next one.
Jayesh will be moving forward about jobs. You guys please do continue. Thank you. Over to Jayesh.
Hi. So you guys can post about it once this session is also completed. The next most important thing is finding jobs on LinkedIn. So that's what is LinkedIn all about. Like you connect with people professionally, and then you look for jobs, internships, or anything for that matter. So how do you find jobs on LinkedIn? So there is one feature of LinkedIn called Jobs that I'm going to show you how to use it so you can benefit out of it to find a job for you. So everyone. This is the most important part of the whole session. Those guys there. This is the most important part of the whole session. So it's only a 5-minute walkway that you'll understand how you can apply for jobs. But make sure to follow the steps I show you right now to apply for jobs or internship for that matter. Say for example, I'm in my second year, I've learned web development completely, and I know web development completely, I've done few projects, I built a resume out of it. So if you don't know about resume, on our YouTube channel there is a video about how can you build your own resume. So you can go check it out there as well. So I've built a resume, I've completed a skill, I have projects in hand to show. So now how do you go about applying for a web development role to any internship or jobs that are available? First of all, like how do you find a job that's actually available on LinkedIn? So like just to understand, there is this job section that you go under to find jobs that are available. So I'll be just walking you through. So basically at the end, everyone here is looking for a job. If not, you guys gonna start up your own things. But when you're looking for a job, LinkedIn is the best place to start with. You would find various number of jobs that you can apply to. So let's try practically. Okay. So you go under the job sections and then you search for the job role that is web developer. can see there are like around 28,000 results. So that number of jobs have been posted about web development. So once you have a particular skill, like you have completed web development and you have that resume to show, you can go here. The first thing is, if web development is your calling or web development is your domain that you want to apply jobs for, you can set the alert on. So as and when a new company posts about their requirement for web development, you get a mail on your personal email address that's linked with your LinkedIn. So that way you don't miss out on applying for the post if you want to. So same here, Shopify has a web development requirement. So I'll just show about few things. You can actually select the date it was posted about. So if you want to just select like past 24 hours, there are 2K plus results that has been posted about web development. And then if it's an experience level and you are looking for an internship, you just select an internship and you have 18 places you can apply to. And the companies, if you have any specific company you want to apply for that matter, like JPMC, etc., you can go select the company name, the job type, whether you want it full-time, internship, or part-time. There are many options as well. I think because of the search result doesn't have any part-time role available. That's not. Don't worry about the number of applications. You can apply because the recruiter is going to come across all the applications to make sure it's your thing is best. As I said, your project should be the thing. And then you could read about the company first. You could read about the eligibility, what all things are prerequisite for you to apply for that particular role. And then they have few responsibilities that you're gonna work on. So they're gonna mention few tech stacks you're gonna work as well. So if you have that particular tech stack in your skill, you could go and apply again. So all you have to do is click on this easy apply. So these are pre-filled details of mine. We go to next. And then there are resumes. So resume is one thing that you have to look after. For every role, there is a different resume. You can't have a single resume and apply to any number of companies because one person is looking for web development and the other person is looking for app. You just can't merge that you have worked on web development and app as well. When it's a specific role that you want to apply, if your resume has everything about web development, that's when you're gonna stand out. So that's why I have like a number of resumes uploaded here for like I'll just select one. And then what is your profession? These are few questions that a company would ask. It depends on company to company. You have to answer based on your experience and everything. And then at the last, it's submit the application. So once the application is submitted, you basically the recruiter gets a message from your end that you have submitted an application with your resume. So the recruiter is going to go across and see how your resume stands for the particular role. So, and you can go across to various other internships that are available. And if you don't want past 24 hours and you want to see in the past week how many companies have given, so again, select those and then you can apply to the particular thing. Say for example, what was the name? Yeah, what's your name? Mohit. Yeah, so Mohit completed data analytics course, right? So you would have developed few projects as well. So you can go across this and like. So if you see data analyst role, so again there are 38 things available, and as it's internship and remote already selected, you can again easily apply over here. So that's how easy it is to apply for jobs, but then you have to make sure your resume is strong, your projects are strong, and as easy to apply, it's not that easy to get in, or to be like very frank about it. So, but then you can apply for jobs, so that there are many people in our batch who have got jobs through LinkedIn. Vilas is one of them as well. He got an internship in his third year through LinkedIn itself. So all you can do is follow this procedure to whatever skills you have learned, and one or the other company you're gonna get in if your thing stands up. And then how do you find people? Say for freelancing, how do you find clients? It's the same process, but then instead of searching in job section, you search under the people section. like under the home section, you search for people you want to work with. So freelancing is all about you decide a niche for that matter. So say you do social media marketing and you do it for people with food industries. So you just search about that and then you get to know people who have started up their own food restaurants and everything. And then you do a cold message. So cold message helps you get your freelance clients that you can like pitch about your services that you offer, how much is your monthly charges, your previous clients you have worked with, and if there's a particular format that you can follow. There are a lot of resources available on the internet for that. See. Yeah, so whenever you're messaging, so you can also connect with the recruiter as well. But make sure your message is proficient English. You don't use any slang, any short forms. Even HRU doesn't work for how are you. And so that's all. WhatsApp world is not how it works on LinkedIn. So you have to make sure that your English is much better when you're texting a particular person or cold messaging as well. That's all from I think for jobs. And the next part is how do you get referrals, which Abhilash will talk about, and this one thing can be another issue.
So, how many of you have heard about referrals? Cool. So, if you can't find job directly, then referrals is like a golden ticket to get a job interview. So, an employee referral is essentially endorsement within a potential employer of you and your talent for a specific position. So, endorsement, as I said again, someone is ready to support for what you have done so far, what you work for, and what you stand for within a potential employer, in the sense the company, and your talents for a specific position. So suppose Preeti is working in a company called as PhonePe, and I want a referral at that. So then I would be reaching out to Preeti asking for a referral. Then she would refer me for say example for a software developer at PhonePe. Then she would be referring me, and then the HR or the company will be reaching out to me based on my profile. So that's how a referral works. And and how to ask, whom to ask referrals is find out if any of your friends is working at so and so company that you want to join, and ask them if there is any position open, or if there is, then you can ask them. Or you can ask your seniors who are already working in that company, and you can ask your relatives also here where they can help you guys. So as I said, don't block your relatives on LinkedIn. So you can ask them for a referral, or you can ask some stranger for a referral too. So how would you connect with them? By starting a cold message, and then asking referrals also it has some template. I'll be showing an example also. And last thing is that by getting the referral, it is necessary that you don't apply on the company portal. First, go and ask a referral to a person. Then they will be referring you to the position in their company, and then the company or the HR recruiter will be reaching out to you asking for more details if your profile and the resume is impressive. So let me go through one simple example that you can ask for some stranger that you have connected on LinkedIn. So the first thing is the conversation title, or you can say the subject line. So this stands for so without opening the message, I should be able to see what the message is about. So here you can see that this is about LinkedIn offer. So this is again sponsored. I don't need to open that. And again a sponsored about web dev style. And then again sponsor. So this those first 4 to 5 words that a person can see without opening your message would be basically the conversation title. So it should be about why you are asking the referral. So coming to the same example, like me asking Preeti for a referral. So this should be the conversation title. So referral for software engineer at PhonePe. So this should be the basic title. So then Preeti will be like, okay, this person is reaching out to me for a referral at my company for software engineer position. So then you should be ready to open the message, and then you need to have an introduction or a reason, like why are you approaching the concerned person. Then you should be like, you should have a basic message like, hope you are doing well, and this is Abhilash from SJC, and I'm looking for a job opportunity at PhonePe. There is an opening that I am interested in. Could you please refer me in that position? So you can give a basic introduction about yourself. then it is necessary for you to give a more specific information about yourself, but it needs to be short. So this can include like what are you currently doing, what are your tech skills, and what are your, if you have any experience of working in any internship part-time, you can mention them. Or if you are already working in some company, then you can mention that you are currently working in so-and-so company. And here is a basic simple example. And you can like start like a bit about myself. I am a full stack developer, passionate about software development and like problem solving. And previously been internet live 24/7 and SETEX and grabbed offers from Salaj and JPMC. So we have this opportunity. I am going to enhance my skills and working at this amazing organization. So a little bit short and this information about yourself is necessary. And then the most important thing is the job ID and the job link. The referrer should know that is the job link valid or not, and even they need to get the ID. So it will be easy for them to refer you on their portal. So they can like directly copy paste the ID and they can refer you for that company. And then the last important thing is like your resume and portfolio. So if you are a developer and it's necessary, and mandatory to have a portfolio, and resume is must and should. So make sure you have a good resume. And portfolio, if you are like into non-technical like email marketing, digital content, or graphic designing, you can ask your developer friend to do one. Or it's fine even if you don't have. It's basically an optional. And everyone like even so once you have all this content, the necessary contents added in the referral template example, then for sure nobody would be ready to back off from giving you a referral. And that person would be like, okay, this person deserves a referral and I should give him a referral. He deserves to be in this, at this position, and for this so and so role, he has deserving skills and technology and knowledge, and hope to like would like to give him a referral at my company. Then once you have your LinkedIn profile optimized, your LinkedIn activity being engaged on, when you are engaged on LinkedIn, if you are able to find job and getting referrals, at one position in your life, you should be able to be like this. And there is also something called as LinkedIn Premium with more benefits like normal. Whatever we showed was like without premium, and with premium we have more benefits based on analytics. Like we can see people who have actually visited you or stalked your profile, and where your posts are being controlled, like where it is being interested in which industry or which company the person who viewed your post is like going through your post, something like that. That you can like get this premium also, like some of the JDC bits also have premium access. Yes. That was all about the session, and hope you liked it and hope you got to learn about the English, and hope you got to learn about the things that you
Okay, everybody, thank you so much for coming out here. I hope you guys learned a lot about LinkedIn, and I thank Abhilash and Jayesh for being really good hosts. So please do scan this QR code to get in touch with us in our socials. Please do follow us on Instagram and keep updated with the events. There will be a lot of events happening right now, so please do join us in further events. Thank you all for coming. We hope to see you soon again. Please do scan this. And please do keep posting. We'll engage with you later.
And please do join the Discord server. Those who are asking for PPT, the PPT will be shared on the Discord server only.
Yeah, so on Discord server we have a community, so we'll be sharing this PPT on Discord server, and you can like follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, again if you guys posted about it. You could go to our YouTube channels for previous events that we have conducted live and have been posted about. That's it. Yeah, so there will be a group photo here like for 2 minutes. So if you could spare 2 more minutes of your time, it would be really great.
And if anybody has any questions with our reference and jobs, can quickly ask.
Yeah, any questions? Please we'll take the last round of questions. Anybody? Okay, I think we can wrap it up. Please do throw your refreshment bottles in the dustbin, just a reminder. And please do join us home. Thank you very much.
If you guys have any questions, you can reach out to us on the Discord server, or you could reach out to Abhilash's LinkedIn profile.